When looking at the lives of my grandparents, it's hard to separate them from the community that they came from. For 90 plus years of their lives, the place that Buford and Geraldine called home was Headley, Texas, population 329. Now, to most people, Headley might not have seemed like much, but to Meemaw, it might as well have been the Garden of Eden.
People like to, well, people like to go all these places and see all these things, and really, we never have really been. He's been, of course, overseas and all that, but I've never been but let's see, Colorado. I guess I've been in Kansas, New Mexico. I don't want to go no place. I'm happy right where I am. God just set me here and said, stay there. You know?
I took it for granted at the time, but there was a moment I noticed when going through the footage that I just can't get off of my mind. One of the local high schoolers had been injured in a car wreck, and Meemaw, with no relation to him, no connection to his parents, and without even any descendants in the school, took the time to check up on this kid. You see, they might not have been blood related or even family friends, but he was a part of Headley, and if you were a part of Headley, you were a part of her.
I'll get it for you.
Just keep going.
You get us good?
Yep. I don't know. When people think of small towns, it usually doesn't take long for cynical thoughts to start rolling off their tongues. These criticisms usually go something like, the people are closed-minded, there's nothing to do, and everyone is all up in everybody else's business all of the time. These criticisms do have some truth to them, but where most might have been at odds with the way things were in Headley, Buford and Geraldine embraced a beauty that those who lived in judgment would have been unable to recognize was there. Every day they went to the senior citizens and saw their friends and socialized. The characters and the stories they shared never changed, but what also stayed constant was the sense of connection and the care they showed for each other's lives.
Oh, she was excited.
Kathy who? Do I know her? Spear? Sounds familiar.
Well, she and Glenn graduated together.
Yeah.
But she and her mother run this thing, So.
Buford and Geraldine have always been second mom and daddy because they've always been for the kids, and they made every basketball game that I can think of, and they were always there if we needed anything. Back then, parents took care of kids, whether they were theirs or not. And so I was just very close to them. And basically, they were just there if we needed them.
What do you think they mean to the senior citizens?
Oh, they mean everything. Yeah, they mean everything. I don't know how to put it in words, but it's just wonderful that they're all can come and socialize and be together for a little time. They just mean a lot to the community and to me, especially. Better go.
At first thought, I wouldn't have described my grandparents as particularly religious people. But after some reflection, I might be wrong about that. They never quoted scripture or used the fear of God for persuasion or as a manipulative tool. In fact, I don't know that Pawpaw read any book, let alone the Bible, over the last 70 so years of his life.
Yeah, he could do all that math all day long, but boy, put that English was something he had to read. That was just out of his line.
So you passed English for him?
I passed his English test so he could graduate.
Philosophy and deep intellectualizing of a subject just wasn't something they were wired for.
Got on pretty sharp.
Well, thank you. My granddaughter told me that she was tired of me having them plaid shirts. She's a Popo, you got a plaid shirt. And I had one that had little. I said, well, how about this one? She said, it's just a dumbed down plaid.
But maybe there's more to religion than the brainiest amongst us are able to explain. Once a week, my grandparents got together with their community for 1 hour. They gave hugs, they shook hands, and they sang songs. And they made a commitment to try to make the following week better, or at least as good as the previous one. Whether this made them religious people or not, I can't really say. But I do know that these actions of worship worked for them. And I can't help but feel like they were blessed to have grown up in a time where it had not yet become fashionable to become too smart to practice them.
It's wonderful.
Doing some kind of thing
Doing a
on
documentary.
us.
Y'all are famous, I keep telling you. Y'all are an inspiration to millions. Or you soon will be.
I don't feel very famous.
Well,
I don't know if I want to see this.
As long as you think it's all right.
that's right. I think you're famous. I think you're awesome. And I'm not just saying that for the camera.
Well,